Hello, we're just fixing things up here. We are live. Welcome to the Linda Cohn Show. Glad you're with us. Hey, have you heard the Indiana Fever are back? That's right. They destroyed Chicago tonight, 113-90. And consider the circumstances, okay? They played Saturday night in Brooklyn. They didn't arrive into Chicago until 3 this morning, and they were finishing their fifth road game in the last 8 days. But apparently nobody told Caitlin Clark she was supposed to be exhausted and tired. She was not. Caitlin Clark was Indiana's most consistent force from beginning to end. She set the tone early. She controlled the pace. She made the entire offense go for Indiana. This is what the Fever looks like when everything runs through Caitlin Clark. She attracts multiple defenders, creates space for everybody else. She turns Indiana into an offensive machine. Then Kelsey Mitchell woke up in the second half, and boy, she was spectacular. Once Mitchell found her rhythm, Chicago had no answer. Clark controlled the game from the start. Mitchell, blew it open after halftime. And now we have a really fascinating MVP situation. Some voters may look at Mitchell's scoring and say, that's my MVP. She's a scorer. Others are going to look at Caitlin Clark and understand that when Mitchell is an elite scorer, everything Indiana does runs through, guess who? Caitlin Clark. Now, Clark and Mitchell could end up splitting the MVP vote, and Asia Wilson could end up running away with it anyway. But if you're asking me, I stay true to my first pick. Who is most valuable to the Fever? No question, it's Clark. Mitchell is the scorer. Yes, the offense goes through Caitlin, though, and everyone benefits from that. On tired legs, that's right. After arriving at 3 a.m, the Fever scored 113 points and beat Chicago, who was desperate for a win, by 23. Clark set the tone. Mitchell supplied the second half knockout. But among those in attendance, this is where it got spicy. Enes Kanter Freedom came to watch this game, and he ended up becoming a part of it. Kanter Freedom was sitting courtside wearing a shirt displaying the dictionary definition of a woman. That's right. He got into it with Natasha Cloud in the third quarter. Kanter yelling in Cloud's direction. Cloud responded. The two exchanged words, and security escorted Kanter Freedom out of the arena. Roll it, Dominic. Yeah, you know what? These two have a history. It was a while ago. Kanter Freedom recently announced his intention to enter the 2027 WNBA draft, but they got at it like a few years ago about America and all these comments. All right, so let's review what happened in Chicago tonight. Caitlin Clark, amazing, 32 points, fire in the second half. Indiana scores 113 points. And sitting courtside, a former NBA center who wants to enter the WNBA draft next season. Yeah. Arguing with a Chicago Sky player before being kicked out. Just another quiet night in the WNBA. But this is no longer an isolated incident. Everywhere the Fever travel, the controversy surrounding Sophie Cunningham's comments seems to follow them. That's right. There have been rallies and counter protests in Seattle, in Portland, in Minnesota, in Chicago, in New York. Sophie has been booed. Fans have been confronted. Messages have appeared on arena video boards. Even mascots, yes, mascots in Toronto, have become part of the conversation. And now the controversy has moved from outside the arena to courtside. The WNBA keeps saying it wants everyone to focus on basketball. Then I got an idea. Clarify your policy. Tell everyone exactly who is eligible to enter the draft and compete in this league. Stop leaving a vacuum that players, former players, protesters, politicians even are more happy to fill in. And I still believe the WNBA likes all this attention, even though the commissioner, coaches, and players say the opposite to us publicly. Yeah. Every confrontation creates another headline. Every protest becomes another viral video. Every Fever road game becomes another national conversation about the WNBA. But attention is not leadership. Until the league gives everyone a direct answer, you heard me, this circus is going to continue and will follow the Fever from city to city. Sunday night, it bought a courtside ticket and then got escorted out. What do you think? Put your comments in the chat box. Maybe we'll show them on the screen. That's what we do here on the Linda Cohn Show. Remember a few days ago, I told you the NFL was preparing to release more than 1,000 players, and that because of a judge's ruling, Some of those players might actually go back to college. Yeah, well, guess what? It is happening. Adam Schefter following up, he reports that the Cleveland Browns are waiving tight end Daquan Wright. And if White clears waivers, he already has an agreement in place to play for LSU this season. Yes, you heard that right. He went from Ole Miss to Philadelphia Eagles, then to the Cleveland Browns, and now he may be heading back to the SEC to play for LSU. This is not the transfer portal. This is a football round trip. Wright has already become the first active NFL player to enter the college transfer portal. Now, if he clears waivers and actually plays for LSU, he's believed to become, and he will become, the first former NFL player ever to return to play college football. That is history, and it may only be the beginning, I'm afraid. Wright, who turns 33 next month, is among a group of players who received a temporary legal protection from a Louisiana judge that challenges the NCAA eligibility rules. Other players currently in NFL camps are exploring this same possibility. So think what this means. Final cutdown day is August 30th. Teams are going to cut it down to 53 players from 90 players. And now, instead of every player released to a practice squad, some of them may look at the money available in NILs and going back to college. They'll say to themselves, yes, maybe me, maybe I'll go back to school. And college coaches can now potentially recruit players directly out of NFL training camps. This is so wrong. I talked about this last week on this show because it sounded completely crazy. That's what I called it. Now Daquan Wright is about to make it real. Prepare yourself. He may be the first, but he's not going to be the last. Not if there's money to be made. I feel bad for these kids working so hard to get a scholarship. No roster spot for them. The NFL used to be the destination. College football was where you came from. Apparently now it can also be where you go back to. Well, the Cleveland Browns, let's talk about them. They should cut Deshaun Watson. Seriously, what are we doing here? I understand the contract. Cleveland still owes Watson $46 million this season. And guess what? Releasing him would not magically erase that salary cap damage. So what the heck? The Browns would still have to absorb the consequences of the worst contract in NFL history. But that money to them is already gone. Keeping Watson on the roster just doesn't make sense. I mean, this is the worst football mistake in the history of NFL teams, and Cleveland made it. Now, I'll be honest, before the preseason, I thought Watson would win the number one job for the Cleveland Browns. I thought Shador needed some help, more development. I mean, Watson was the veteran. He has the massive contract. And NFL teams hate admitting they made a mistake, especially a $230 million mistake, which the Browns did with Watson. But I've changed my mind. And I'm allowed to. It's my show. Because Shador Sanders has been good. Sanders against Buffalo completed 9 of 11 passes for 74 yards and a touchdown. Yes, he threw an interception, but it came off a deflected pass. Watson, well, he came in and completed 5 of 12 for just 36 yards and an interception. The Browns didn't score a single point when Watson was under center. And now Watson is upset because Browns fans booed him. He called it disrespectful. He called it personal. Maybe some of it is personal, but Deshaun, you went 5 for 12 for 36 yards and you threw an interception. Let's not pretend now performance has absolutely nothing to do with it. Get over it. Here's what his coach, Todd Monken, had to say about it. Roll it, Dominic.
It's not. I mean, the business we are in is a performance-based business. I mean, it is what it is. When we expect a service, we're going to be disappointed when we don't get that service. If you go to a restaurant and your soup comes out and it's cold, you're going to be pissed. Okay, that's just the way it is. If you order from the grocery store and they deliver it and 6 of your eggs are broken, you're going to be pissed. Okay, so I get it. That's what we're in. I mean, that's why we're paid what we are. I mean, to perform at a high level. And when we don't, then that's the repercussions of it. We've run to this smoke. This is the job we've chosen. So this is part of it.
Yeah, you know what? As I was kind of just thinking about it, the Browns gain nothing by keeping Deshaun Watson. Just hearing Monken's comments proves to me he doesn't want him there. And just hearing Monken's comments, By the way, he's going to announce the decision of QB1 tomorrow, Monday morning. It's going to be Shedeur Sanders. Because at some point, the Cleveland Browns, you know what? They just got to stop trying to rescue this bad decision that will live for them for the rest of their lives. You acknowledge it, you take the financial hit, and you move forward. Shedeur Sanders has earned this opportunity. He should be named Cleveland's starting quarterback any day now. And Sean Watson, the Browns should simply cut this guy and finally turn the page. We'll find out. I won't be surprised if Monday Coach Monken makes that decision. Sanders starts. Gabriel backs up. Staying in the AFC, is it now or never for Joe Burrow? He certainly seems to think so. Have you heard? Because I have never heard Burrow talk with this level of urgency before. Not confidence. He's always had that. This is different. This sounds like a quarterback who is tired of watching seasons slip away. Listen to what Burrow had to say a few days ago. Roll it, Dominic.
About chasing the championship in mid-August. Why are you comfortable doing that June, July, and August right now?
I'm trying to put it out into the world. I'm trying to manifest it. I'm trying to show our guys the urgency that I have and that I want us to have as an organization to go and make it happen. You can keep pushing it down the road, or you can talk about it now and say this is the year. And I'm tired of saying next year. This is it. Your life is too short to keep pushing things down the road, and I'm trying to instill some urgency and some intensity in everybody to go and be great every day and try to go make it happen.
You feel like it's got to be now or never?
Yeah, I'm telling you, he was fascinating. I've never heard him talk like this before. Let me know your comments. I mean, Joe even said, I don't even know if my job is safe. Are you kidding? Your job is safe. You're a top 5 quarterback, Joe Burrow. But he's trying to create urgency in the building, and that's not a great building that the Bengals play in. But this team has missed the playoffs 3 straight years. 3 with Joe Burrow. I know he's been hurt a bit. That's almost hard to believe. I mean, when you think about what Burrow has accomplished with the Cincinnati Bengals, took him to a Super Bowl his second season. The following year, he took him to an AFC championship game. In 2024, Burrow led the entire NFL in passing yards and touchdown passes, and the Bengals still missed the playoffs. You know why? It's that defense. Last season, 6-11, another injury for Joe Burrow, and another January just sitting there with the rest of us watching the playoffs. So when Joe Burrow, to me, says this is it, I'm getting it. I understand. That's exactly what he means. He's really had it. He's not going anywhere, but he believes Cincinnati will finally give him the roster to win with. He's helped out with his salary, but the Bengals completely rebuilt that defense. They had to. It's sort of like the Cowboys defense. You had to make improvements. They traded their 10th overall pick for Dexter Lawrence. They picked up a few other guys that'll really help the defensive line. And you know what? This is what really gets me crazy. I never thought he would say this, but Burrow said that this team right now, this roster, reminds him of his 2019 LSU team, the one that won the national championship and was perfect and was considered one of the greatest college football teams ever assembled. He compares this Bengals team with that LSU team. That's not a casual comparison. You don't compare your team to 2019 LSU unless you really think you have something special here. Good job with the manifesting. Let's hope that works out for you. He loves the pressure. I mean, Burrow always says this. He loves the pressure. He thrives on it. But I like what he said. He's going to find out if everybody else does as well. And that's really the question in Cincinnati, right? We already know Joe Burrow can handle the pressure. Can everybody else? Can this revamped defense be the difference? Can they win the division? I think it's going to come down to Baltimore and the Bengals in this AFC North. I still like Baltimore. They are the team to beat. What do you think? Put your comments in the chat box. We'll display them. But Cincinnati, thanks to Joe Burrow, it's a really big pep talk and words that he has never said out loud publicly. The urgency. But people mistook it for like, oh, if you don't win this year, I'm out of here. I don't see that happening. He's not going anywhere. He's under contract till 2029. So is it now or never for Joe Burrow and the Bengals? Maybe never. I think it's a little dramatic. He's only 29, but for this version of the Bengals with this roster, these additions on defense, this coaching staff, it absolutely feels like a now. Yeah. Burrow has publicly raised his expectations and this team's expectations. And trust me, they're listening. So now Cincinnati has to prove that they've listened and they believe in their quarterback. And it was just not another great quarterback speech, because there's 3 straight years without making the playoffs. The Bengals can't keep saying next year will be better, because Joe Burrow, he's not buying it. Could Fernando Mendoza actually start week 1 for the Las Vegas Raiders? That would be a surprise. Or would it be a surprise? Coach Clint Kubiak, new coach in Vegas, still refuses to name Kirk Cousins his starter, the guy they brought in. He doesn't want anybody becoming too comfy. That's my word. And that uncertainty benefits, both players. But Mendoza hasn't exactly made this an easy decision with flawless football. That hasn't happened. Against Houston, he completed 8 of 15 passes, threw a pick 6. I really did like the way he hustled, though. But it's the way he talked about getting better. And he continues to say all the right things Mendoza does. He's never satisfied. And if I'm a head coach, I like what I'm hearing from that guy. And why wait? Why wait? But remember, Mendoza knows how to win as well. He went 16-0. He won a national championship with Indiana. Kubiak said it himself, you want a winner. Hint, hint. The Raiders did bring in Kirk Cousins. We know that. A veteran bridge to play while Mendoza learns and eases his way into the NFL. But is that the right way to go? Why ease him in if Kubiak believes he's ready? Mendoza was the number 1 overall pick. He represents the future of the franchise. And sometimes the best way to develop a young quarterback is let him play now. Let him make the mistakes and learn from them. And this guy will learn from those mistakes. So yes, maybe starting Mendoza in week 1 is the right way to go. I like it. I think that should happen. Why should it be the future? The future is now. Find out what you got. He's not going anywhere. I get that. But find out what you have in Fernando Mendoza. We've seen it before. I know the Raiders' offensive line is, who knows what's going to happen with that. And I just think the learning is very important. And you always have Kirk Cousins there. But are the Las Vegas Raiders a team that is going to play it safe? Did they bring in Kirk Cousins for him to watch? Yeah, I want Mendoza to start week 1, but I have a feeling Kubiak in his first year with this team is not going to do something drastic. I could be wrong, but I think he is leaning toward Kirk Cousins. We will find out. We're going to find out a lot this week. And as I already mentioned in Cleveland, we will find out tomorrow if Shedeur Sanders gets the starting job. We will see. All right, coming up, this was an experiment. Sunday show, a little haphazard. It's on me. We'll figure it out. But there was so much to talk about. I still can't believe Enes Kanter Freedom got thrown out of that game and what he created a spectacle. But every night in the WNBA, it is a circus. We will be back Monday Night Live in our usual time slot, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. Special guest, host of this amazing podcast, School of Greatness podcast, Lewis Howes, will be joining me. Plus, we'll go over all the headlines and all the big stories right here on the Linda Cohn Show. Don't forget to comment and don't forget to like and subscribe. Want to hear from you. Really appreciate all of our subscribers. And, we're going to figure it out together. And thanks for being on this journey with me. Have a great night.